This month, we are thankful to have Tink Taylor, founder and president of the dotdigital group. He's been in the digital communications industry for over 20 years. And in this presentation, we're going to see the results of a survey where dotdigital surveyed 100 businesses and their outcomes in digital outreach. Be sure to head over to the ecomatl.org site. From there, you can join our newsletter. You can also find our meetup page where you'll be reminded of all of the events that are coming up. And head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. All right, on to the presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Tink Taylor, the founder and president of dotdigital. Today I'm going to be talking about some research that dotdigital do called hitting the mark. Now that's right, I said dotdigital. Over the last few years, many will have gotten to know me as Tink Taylor of dotmailer. Now that had a lovely ring to it. However, we have been busy and we've rebranded. So I wanted to take this opportunity to explain what we've been doing and why. So as a business, we're now called dotdigital, and we now refer to our platform as the engagement cloud. So who are dotdigital? Well, we are 380 plus staff in 13 offices globally. We are listed on the London Stock Exchange, and happily for us, we're 21 years old this year. We've been around for a while. We are a Magento Premier partner, and most importantly for you, we are bundled in with the core code of Magento. We're also a Shopify Plus certified app and a BigCommerce Global Elite partner, meaning we're primed, vetted, tested, and ready to go. As mentioned, the platform is now called the Engagement Cloud. Why? Well, pure and simply, over the last 20 years, we'd outgrown our name, dotmailer. Having the word mail in our name simply didn't do justice to our capabilities. And importantly, we were seeing clients with conversion rates 7 times higher when using Omnichannel campaigns over purely email campaigns. Now, I love this slide because it really shows what we've been up to. Back in 1999, when the BBC first used our platform, we only had 4,500 lines of code. Since 2008, we've made 150 software upgrades. We now have 1.5 million lines of code and counting. It's difficult, therefore, to list and track all that we have done. We have evolved where maybe some chimps might not have done. We obviously don't want to be left behind and appear to be some kind of dinosaur. Okay, enough of my cheesy puns. What does this mean for you? Well, we want you to send communications that engage your customers so you acquire smarter, convert faster, and deliver bigger. But that's enough about us. I really wanted to tell you about our research that we call Hitting the Mark. This is dotdigital's independent report that looks at marketing tactics of 100 e-commerce brands. This is something we've done annually for over 10 years now. We look at brands that are pure play e-commerce and others that are omnichannel e-commerce brands. And by the way, this isn't 100 of our customers, so the report simply doesn't read, hey, look at these guys, didn't they do well? We call out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Each brand gets individually evaluated. We deploy a methodology that allows us to remain objective and unbiased. Essentially, we send out secret shoppers over a 4-month period and follow a typical customer journey. So what do we look at? We look at best practices across email, customer experience, and omnichannel marketing. We look at SMS received, whether social retargeting happened, and also we try to engage with the brands via live chat. The brands we analyze come from across the world, 20 in APAC, 20 in EMEA, 30 in the UK, and 30 in the USA. That's giving you the perfect opportunity to compare yourself against other global retailers and discover trends from those regions. In short, you can check out how you stack up against the competition. So here's a snapshot of the process we followed. It's simple. We look at everything that involved the customer's journey. We start with the email experience, looking at things like the subscription process, preference centers, automated programs, general best practices like those legal elements, the use of strong call to actions, the use of segmentation and personalization, and finally, the unsubscribe options. We also looked at the user experience in general. Were the products easy to find? Was the checkout a labored process? was the after-sales experience in terms of confirmation and delivery notifications? And finally, we looked at the overall post-purchase experience. Customers' expectations have changed. They demand something that makes their life easier and faster and tailored to their needs. It's always been about the right message to the right person at the right time. Now, we must add the right channel. So we looked at Omnichannel. Was SMS being used at any point, whether that was for transactional or promotional? Was social retargeting used? Was there any evidence of conversational messaging via live chat, Facebook Messenger, or Twitter direct messages? And if there was an app, how good was the functionality, and could we purchase through it? We also went a step further by asking our partners to contribute to the report by providing expert commentary. Klarna looked at payment, Yopo looked at loyalty, Sleepnote looked at acquisition in the form of popovers, and Nosto looked at abandoned cart. Relevance looked at relevancy, obviously. There's a whole host of information to be found in the report, and I encourage you to download it and have a good read. It really is full of good stuff. Today, though, I want to pull out the top 5 key findings and look at some examples from retailers in the US. So firstly, the welcome program. Well, why would we want one of those? 74% of consumers tell us they expect a welcome. A welcome program is crucial. It's your first and only chance to make a good impression, to say hello to new subscribers. That is why it's the most widely adopted automation program. 90% of the brands we studied sent at least one welcome email as soon as someone subscribed. Here's a great example of a sign-up form, by the way. The pop-up gave a chance to win 10% off or offered a free bracelet. It's playful, it's fun, it gets the job done. They're not just collecting the email address here, they're also asking for the cell phone number. So they're gearing up for an omni-channel strategy. Both Everlast and Saucony here offer discounts. They make good on their promise, displaying a discount in the first email you receive. But they weren't really doing much else. Only 29% of brands optimize their welcome program to gather more data using preferences and perhaps adding to wish lists. So many of them were missing a few tricks here. Although this example is busy from Revolve, it does a job of closing the loop. Reaching subscribers by giving them options on what's hot, things to buy, and other channels to connect with them on. And finally, the option to update their preferences. Next up, we have the abandoned cart. In the report, 57% of brands failed to send an abandoned cart email. Incredible. The industry average is worse, actually, it's 70%. But those that did, 28 sent an email within the first 60 minutes, which is not bad. And of those, 33% sent more than one message. That's goodish news. In the US, we actually saw 60% of the brands were actually sending an abandoned cart email. However, that leaves an awful lot of brands leaving money on the table by not implementing this simple, quick win automation. Interestingly, the US brands didn't provide us with a great example of how to do this well. Rebecca Minkoff covered the basics of displaying what was left in the cart. Misaka do the same, but they do actually go the extra mile, displaying other products that might be of interest by carefully picking products generated from what the user was browsing or based on previous purchased items. Simple to include if you think about it. So number 3, omnichannel. It's clear that the brands haven't been embracing omnichannel marketing strategies. In general, in the report, of the 100 brands we scored, the average was only 18% for the omnichannel criteria. This is very low, which means there's probably an opportunity for you if you actually do this. The stats read, SMS adoption was low at 17%. Only 9% of brands had a visible retargeting strategy. Only 34% of brands offered an app to purchase through, and of those, only 25% sent any kind of push notification. Much room for improvement. We are, though, starting to see a trend in the retail brands adopting things like live chat. A third of the brands offered live chat as a service. 64% of these brands answered queries within 60 seconds. That is great. 71% of the brands were using Facebook Messenger and Twitter Direct Messenger as well. That's a massive increase of use of those technologies over previous years. The US are leading the way here with an impressive 40% of the brands in the report actually using live chat. It's clear consumers these days want a message to connect with brands. They're used to posting on Instagram and Facebook, and within seconds people responding. If they send a Facebook message or a live chat to a business, they expect an immediate response. So when they're researching or buying your products, the consumer expectation these days is immediacy. Everlast made their live chat a great option and very visible on their homepage. With live chat, it's important that questions are answered quickly because this increases your conversion rates. It's critical that you deploy the right people on your live chat. They need to be responsive and knowledgeable about your product. Visitors who are invited to chat are 6.3% more likely to convert. And depending on the product, we actually see up to 60% of conversions happen straight after the first live chat. And if you haven't heard already, there's a quick advert for us here. It's worth noting that dotdigital has a number of special offers designed to help retailers during these troubled times. One of these offers is free use of our live chat feature. We're actually giving away 10 free seats during this difficult period. Why? Well, we've seen a number of retailers moving in-store staff to handle live chat conversations. They're exactly what you need when I talk about being responsive and knowledgeable about your products. So number 4, payment methods. 87% of brands offered shoppers alternative payment methods, including PayPal, Klarna, Afterpay, and Amazon Pay. It's clear that the brands have fully embraced these providers, and many see up to 10x increase in sales and also higher average order values, conversions, and more repeat purchases. By the way, beware, there could be some stock control issues here, and also consider issues surrounding products that have a lot of variations, colors and sizes and so on. Revolve really embraced this tactic. They did a great job highlighting these payment methods whenever a customer had the option to purchase. This tactic makes the customer's life easier by reducing barriers to sale. Number 5, customer loyalty. Well, loyalty clearly wasn't being rewarded in any way by these brands adding automation programs for this. 80% of brands neglected this, and therefore it's important to the customer retention. Editorial, by the way, demonstrates the value the brand can offer to their customers. Sadly, 60% or 66% of the brands fail to send anything editorial at all. Loyal customers may keep buying for you, but they will disappear if you don't treat them well and send them the right content. If you do treat them right, they will become advocates. Advocates will tell their friends and they will leave a review for you. Only 50% of the brands sent an after-sales review email. Brands clearly aren't paying attention to the post-purchase experience, which is just as important these days as making a great first impression. Brands can create the feeling of loyalty of their customers by generating content that is useful and relevant. Stephanie did a great job here by giving tips and advice to runners. Rebecca Minkoff does a whole host of things. They have a traditional reward system, but also they offer fun, engaging content. Now, we all love things like animations, but at the foot of this campaign, they also promoted Rebecca's podcast. They encourage subscribers to help personalize their content and sent them to a preference center. Preference centers are best practice for a reason. It lets customers know they're in control. If you empower them, they will engage more. More engagement means more loyalty and ultimately increased sales. Okay, that's my key findings. And trust me, there are plenty more in the report. So as I say again, go download it and read it. But let's be honest, I bet you're all itching to know who won. Well, our winner was Matches Fashion. We were super impressed at every step of the journey. It was data-driven. It used many automations along with great content. In all, they delivered a superior customer experience. They incorporated things like popovers and editorial. They were smart with their data collection. They used retargeting, welcome and abandoned cart emails that were heavily personalized. They even used push notifications, but sadly, they hadn't incorporated live chat. So even these guys have some room for improvement. Now, I've covered a lot in a short space of time, so let's recap. There's a lot you can learn from this report. And as a brand, you have an opportunity to drive conversion rates, drive the loyalty and the lifetime value by giving a fantastic customer experience. And you do this by linking all the conversations and all the data points from all the channels that you have available to your customers. Now, this sounds like a big task, but you can break any big task down into bite-sized chunks. We have a simple mantra at dotdigital that helps our clients achieve this. So I want to leave you with this. So you can do this by thinking big. That's your plan, your overall strategy. Starting small. Start with the one thing that you can solve today, perhaps tomorrow, or even this week. Then scale quickly. Set up a new automation, for example, each week. By the end of the year, you'll have 50-odd automations in play across multiple channels. If you do this, you will be hitting the mark. Thank you. And don't forget, you can download a full copy of the report on our website at dotdigital.com/hitting-the-mark. Once again, thank you.
Thank you again, Tink, for this great presentation. Now, for those of you who are live at the event, you got to participate in the questions and the answer session. We appreciate all of your participation. We had a great session for about 30 or 45 minutes that everyone was asking questions. Be sure to show up at the events live and join into the conversation. And we look forward to seeing you at the next event, which is actually June 25th of 2020. We'll see you soon.